They tried to bury your name under lies, tried to erase you with envy, break you with whispers, outnumber you with schemes. But what they didn't realize is, every attempt to ruin you became a curse on their own hands. Every move they made in darkness only spotlighted your rise. And now, chosen one, they're haunted by the very energy they once laughed at. They thought they were playing you, but they played themselves. You were never just another person. They underestimated the force behind your presence, and now they flinch at the mention of your name, not out of guilt, but out of fear for what their own actions unleashed. You don't need to lift a finger. The silence around you is already loud enough to shake foundations. Every false rumor, every manipulated story, every attempt to isolate you, it's turning on them with surgical precision. While they sink in confusion, you're ascending with power they can't decode. That's the cost of targeting someone who carries energy too pure to corrupt. You don't just walk into rooms anymore. You change the temperature, you shift the alignment, and the ones who once mocked you, they now calculate the risk before even thinking of you. Because you're not just respected, you're remembered. You're not just watched, you're studied. Being chosen doesn't mean you avoided attacks. It means you survived them and evolved with scars that became armor. That armor now glows, and the glow, it burns those who come too close with dirty intentions. The very power they tried to silence has become the reason they can't sleep. If you've felt this message resonate deep in your bones, like it's already written inside you, don't ignore that pull. Like this video, subscribe to this channel. Your presence here isn't random, it's alignment. Before moving ahead, let me pause and thank each of you who've supported this mission through super thanks. Your offering isn't just generosity, it's spiritual confirmation. It shows you're not just a witness to this truth, you're walking in agreement with the power behind it. Your presence, your light, your faith, it all fuels the momentum of this message reaching others who need the strength to rise. And if your spirit is resonating with what's being spoken, if deep down you know this power around your name is no accident, take a quiet moment of agreement. Comment 999 below. Not out of obligation, but as a personal sign that you're aligned, awakened, and ready to walk boldly in the energy they tried to shut down. Number 1. Stop thinking you're here by chance. You were summoned to shift the balance of power. You walk in without a word, and yet the silence becomes a thunderclap. Chosen one, your presence isn't loud, but it's impossible to ignore. You don't demand the spotlight, but somehow the room tilts in your direction the moment you step in. That's not performance. That's power. While others scream for validation, you move with a calm that rattles the unprepared. Your stillness isn't absence, it's presence intensified. And to those watching from a distance, trying to measure you by shallow metrics, their minds short-circuit. Because you're not here to impress, you're here to shift timelines. They tried to analyze you, break you down, turn you into something they could understand or control, but each attempt left them more confused. Because you weren't made for categories, you were made to crash them. Every time they think they've figured you out, you evolve. Every encounter with you unlocks something ancient and unexplainable. Some call it intimidating. Some call it surreal, but they all feel it. And that feeling, it rearranges them. Because you're not just a person, they're standing in front of a mirror that shows them everything they've buried. It's no wonder people scatter. When you've built your identity on illusion, truth feels like fire. And you bring heat without raising your voice. You walk in truth, and truth exposes. So those who fear being seen won't last long around you. They'll blame you, resent you, even attack you. But deep down they know it's not you they're afraid of. It's what you reflect back at them. And that's why your energy is sacred. That's why proximity to you comes with a price most aren't willing to pay. And still, you rise, not for attention, not for revenge, but because hiding was never your destiny. You were designed to be seen, even if they can't explain what they're seeing. The higher you climb, the more unavoidable your name becomes, not because you said it louder, but because you lived in such alignment that the world had no choice but to whisper, then speak, and eventually shout your story. Before moving deeper, I want to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude to those who have supported this mission through super thanks. Your support isn't just kind, it's confirmation, a signal that this message is reaching those who carry the same frequency. And even if you haven't given, your presence here is no less sacred. If this message is striking a chord within you, affirm it. Comment 999 below. Not out of pressure, but as a quiet signal to the universe that you've arrived, that you see it, that you're walking in alignment. You've been watched, tested, misunderstood, but now the world's about to see what happens when the quiet one becomes the force they can't unsee. Let's continue. Number 2. Don't enter rooms the same way. Make sure your presence rearranges everything inside. Dear Chosen One, you're not just stepping into rooms anymore, you're shifting atmospheres. The moment your foot crosses that threshold, energy recalibrates. Conversations halt, eyes scan. Something ancient awakens in the space, even if no one can name it. That's not ego, that's essence. Your presence carries weight that can't be copied, taught, or toned down. You don't walk in to be seen. You walk in, and suddenly, others realize they've been blind. You were never meant to blend into spaces built to contain lesser energies. You're meant to override them. You carry a frequency that the insecure find suffocating, that the envious find unbearable, and that the awakened find liberating. That's why some shrink in your presence and others straighten up. Your energy doesn't ask for permission. It announces truth without words. And the ones who have built their lives on lies feel it first, because light doesn't just illuminate, it exposes. You don't have to change for the room adjusts to you. So stop playing small to ease the discomfort of those unprepared for your elevation. When you show up, everything misaligned is forced to reveal itself. That's your power. That's your warning. That's your gift. Walk like the disruption they never saw coming, but will never forget. Number 3. Quit explaining yourself. You're not meant to be understood. You're meant to disrupt the pattern. Dear Chosen One, stop handing out explanations like they're owed. You were never meant to fit neatly into their limited understanding. You weren't sent here to make people comfortable. You were sent here to break the cycle, shatter the illusions, and expose the game for what it really is. The more you try to explain your silence, your decisions, your energy, the more you drain your power trying to justify something they were never designed to comprehend. Let them talk. Let them guess. Let them label you with names that fall short of your essence. Because your existence alone is the disruption. Your frequency makes people itch in their spirit, not because you've harmed them, but because your presence exposes everything fake they're clinging to. They can't categorize you because you weren't built from the same blueprint. You don't move with the crowd, you move with purpose. You walk in with that calm, calculated energy, and suddenly they feel judged by your peace, by your boundaries, by your refusal to shrink. Chosen One, do not dilute your power for the sake of their comfort. You weren't sent to be liked. You were sent to be felt. They fear what they can't control, and you, by design, were never made to be contained. That's what unnerves them. That's why they talk. But their noise is proof of your impact. Your power was never in your ability to explain. It's in your ability to evolve without permission. So hold your silence like a blade, sharp, still, untouchable. because when you stop explaining, you start becoming. And that, chosen one, is the beginning of their unraveling. Number 4. Stop letting betrayal break you. Use it as proof the universe strikes for you every time. They thought betrayal would break you. They smiled while twisting the knife, convinced you'd never recover. But chosen one, they didn't realize that the moment they turned on you, they triggered their own downfall. You were never meant to beg for loyalty in broken spaces. The betrayal was not a punishment, it was the activation, the signal to the universe that it was time to clean house and elevate you out of reach. Let's be clear, betrayal doesn't destroy the chosen, it reveals them. It separates the genuine from the opportunistic. It exposes the ones who only clapped when you were down and silent when you rose. And each time someone tried to take advantage of your trust, life responded on your behalf. The whispers they used to stain your name echoed back as confusion in their own life. The lies they spread boomeranged into isolation. That's not coincidence. That's universal justice. You don't have to seek revenge. The rebalancing already started the moment they crossed you. Your silence isn't weakness, it's alignment. Your composure is what keeps the consequences clean and surgical. You rise, they stumble, and they don't even understand why. But you do. You were never meant to stay in the same room as those who couldn't handle your light. So stop viewing betrayal as the end. Start seeing it for what it is. Proof that your energy is too valuable for small-hearted people. Let their exit validate your elevation. Let their disloyalty be the backdrop to your expansion. And when the universe clears the space, fill it with purpose, not pain. Because, chosen one, your glow was never meant to be dimmed by those afraid of their own shadows. Number 5. Don't fight fire with fire. Let divine surveillance handle what you can't see coming. They want you to react. That's the trap. They prod you, provoke you, throw stones hoping you'll throw one back, because if you do, they get to paint you as unstable, dramatic, dangerous. But chosen one, you were never built to battle on their level. Your power is not in retaliation, it's in restraint. While they flail wildly in chaos, you move with surgical precision, guided by something they'll never understand. Every time you've kept your silence, they mistook it for weakness. But now they're starting to realize that the storm only comes after you go quiet. That's not coincidence. That's surveillance in motion, divine, unseen, and undeniable. The moment they set their sights on you with dark intentions, forces beyond their comprehension began recalibrating every step they took. And while you slept, the universe moved in your defense. Doors began to close behind them. Their alliances cracked. Their confidence evaporated. Because, chosen one, your energy is monitored by something sacred. You don't need to see every plot. You don't need to catch every whisper. The moment it's formed, it's already being dismantled. You don't need to light fires when the cosmos responds with lightning. You are not here to match their chaos. You are here to expose it by thriving in calm. That's what haunts them. That no matter how hard they push, you don't push back. You rise instead. And that rise triggers consequences they never see coming. So let them throw shadows. Let them move reckless. You stay aligned. Stay focused. Because they aren't just going against you. They're stepping into a system that corrects imbalance, with or without your permission. And when it hits them, they'll swear it came from nowhere. But you'll know. You didn't have to fight. You just had to stay chosen. Number 6. Quit asking, why me? Your rise is the universe's loudest warning to the world. Chosen one, it's time to stop looking at your pain like it was some kind of punishment. That why me mindset, bury it. The question was never why you. The truth is, it had to be you. because your rise isn't just personal, it's prophetic. Every time life hit you with chaos, it wasn't trying to crush you. It was forging you into something undeniable. You became the signal flare in a world that pretends not to believe in consequences. You became the walking proof that no evil deed goes unseen and no attack on the chosen goes unpunished. They tried to destroy your reputation. They laughed at your purpose, but now they speak your name in whispers because your existence has become a mirror, and it reflects back everything they tried to hide from. You're not just rising, you're rising in full view, and the people who thought you'd stay small, they're now the example of what happens when you target someone covered by alignment. You've become the universe's loudest broadcast that energy doesn't lie, that betrayal rebounds, that lies rot. You didn't just survive it, you became the symbol of why messing with certain souls comes with a price. So stop asking why the battle was so brutal. You were chosen to be the reminder. Your elevation is the warning they can't ignore. Keep rising because your very existence is teaching them that every attack had a cost they can't afford. Number 7. Stop calling it karma. It's cosmic enforcement, and you're the living evidence. They didn't just cross a line when they crossed you. They triggered a system far bigger than they ever understood. This isn't just what goes around comes around. This is universal law in motion. And chosen one, you are the walking proof that it doesn't miss. People throw around the word karma like it's some vague idea. But what's been happening around your name? That's precision. That's enforcement. That's what happens when someone tries to tamper with a life that's protected by a higher order. They thought they were untouchable. They thought their manipulation, their lies, their envy cloaked behind fake smiles would go unnoticed. But the energy doesn't lie. The moment they moved with ill intent, it recorded. And now, they're living the consequences in real time. Not because you fought back, but because the universe doesn't play when it comes to those walking in divine alignment. You didn't curse them. You didn't expose them. You didn't even need to speak. Your silence was the court date, and the verdict arrived without delay. Chosen one, your life terrifies those who operate in darkness. Not because you're dangerous, but because their games collapse in your presence. Every downfall they're facing isn't random. It's the reaction. It's the cost of messing with someone who carries energetic law inside their DNA. You don't chase revenge. You don't need to. Because you are the evidence. You are the reminder. And every consequence unfolding around your enemies is a public broadcast of what happens when someone targets a life sealed by cosmic enforcement. Number 8. Don't chase validation. Your reputation terrifies people who thought you'd stay small. Chosen one, they didn't expect you to rise. They expected you to stay exactly where they left you, quiet, unsure, boxed in. They thought you'd beg for approval, shrink to fit their comfort, chase after crumbs of recognition. But instead, you walked away and became the storm they never saw coming. And now, the same people who used to speak over you can't even speak your name without swallowing their pride first. Let them talk in circles. Let them avoid your name like it's cursed, because to them, it is. Your growth destroyed the script they wrote for you. You weren't supposed to become the blueprint. You weren't supposed to outgrow their projections. And yet, here you are, moving through rooms they never believed you'd reach, commanding attention without saying a word. That's what terrifies them. Not your voice, but your silence. Not your presence, but your impact. You stopped seeking validation, and that's when the real power kicked in. You're not looking to be seen anymore. You're being watched anyway. Your evolution demands attention, even from those who secretly hoped you'd fail. And what scares them most? You did it without asking for permission, without begging to be liked, without playing small to be accepted. That's why they keep your name out their mouth. because your existence is a reminder that they underestimated the wrong one. You didn't need applause, you needed space. And the moment you took it, everything shifted. Keep rising, keep walking. Let your reputation echo louder than any performance ever could. You are no longer someone they overlook. You are someone they can't even mention without feeling exposed. That's not fear you're seeing, that's respect, wearing a mask. Number 9. Never doubt your protection. Ancestral forces are silencing threats before they speak. Chosen one, the reason you're still standing while others have folded is no mystery, it's design. You weren't just protected, you were fortified. Long before the threat showed its face, it was already being silenced behind the scenes. And the people who thought they could throw dirt on your name, they didn't even realize their own downfall had already been scheduled, because you walk with forces that don't wait for drama to escalate. They end it before the smoke even rises. There are conversations that never happened, betrayals that never took root, traps that collapsed under their own weight, all because your ancestors, your unseen allies, were already 5 moves ahead. You don't always see the protection, but you felt the sudden shifts, the people who exited without reason, the invitations that got lost, the opportunities that slipped away only to reveal they were setups in disguise. That's not coincidence, that's the field around you doing its job. While others try to defend themselves with words and noise, your defense is coded into your energy. The ones plotting on you don't even realize why their plans never land. It's because your frequency won't allow corruption to pass. You were born with spiritual encryption, and no matter how calculated the attack, the math will never work out in their favor. So never doubt the protection surrounding you, chosen one. You are not just watched over, you are shielded in advance. Every time someone speaks your name with bad intent, the energy boomerangs before it even reaches your doorstep. You don't have to react. You don't have to explain. The ancestral force field around you speaks before you ever have to. And it speaks in a language your enemies can only feel and fear. Number 10. Quit wasting energy. Explaining silence, stillness is your most tactical weapon. Chosen one, let them talk, let them speculate, let them create entire narratives around your quiet. Your silence makes noise in rooms you've never even entered, and that alone shakes them. You don't need to defend, justify, or decode your stillness for anyone. Because while they're performing for attention, your silence is performing spiritual surgery. Cutting through illusions, exposing intent, and revealing truths no words could ever reach. They wanted you to react, to explain yourself, to fold under pressure, but every time you chose stillness instead of chaos, it rattled them more than 1,000 loud retaliations ever could. Why? Because silence, when used by someone aligned, is not weakness, it's a weapon, a boundary, a signal that you no longer entertain what drains. It's how chosen ones reclaim their energy and move in wisdom, not war. They can't handle the fact that your stillness has more impact than their noise, that your restraint is your authority. When you go quiet, it's not confusion, it's calculation. You're listening to something they can't hear. You're aligning with movements they can't predict. And when you finally speak, it lands like thunder because it came from discipline, not desperation. Chosen one, stop over-explaining what was never meant to be understood by the unprepared. Let your silence sort what needs sorting. Those who carry truth don't need to shout it, they live it. And that living truth makes more noise in the spirit than the loudest lie ever could. So the next time they wonder why you've gone quiet, let them. Your energy is too sacred to waste explaining a strategy they'll never be wise enough to follow. Stay still, stay focused. Your silence is your signal, and they've heard it loud and clear. Number 11. Don't dim your light to keep people close. Your energy isn't for the comfortable, it's for the courageous. Chosen one, stop shrinking to fit spaces that were never built to hold your truth. Every time you dilute your energy to make others feel secure, you rob yourself of alignment and them of growth. You were never meant to be palatable. You were meant to be powerful. Some people didn't walk away because you were wrong. They left because your light was too honest for their shadows. They weren't intimidated by your words. They were terrified by what your presence exposed in them. The truth is, your energy is sacred. It demands awareness, growth, accountability, and not everyone is willing to step up to that mirror. That's why they fumbled you. That's why they lied about you. That's why they tried to twist the narrative to make you look like the threat when really you were the trigger for their unhealed wounds. But here's what they don't realize. Your light was never meant to soothe their comfort zones. It was meant to activate their higher self. If they couldn't handle that, it's not your burden to carry. Stop negotiating your brilliance for temporary company. Stop lowering your frequency just to avoid making others uncomfortable. That's not love. That's spiritual suffocation. Your energy isn't for the lukewarm. It's for the bold, the brave, the ready. Let the faint-hearted fall away. Let those unready remove themselves. That's not rejection, that's refinement. Your circle doesn't shrink because you're losing. It tightens because you're leveling up. So don't dim, radiate. Let your frequency speak louder than your explanations. Let your rise be the filter, because the ones meant for you won't flinch at your light. They'll rise with it. Number 12. Stop shrinking to survive. You were built to collapse systems that couldn't hold you. Chosen one, enough with making yourself smaller just to be tolerated. You weren't sent here to blend into broken structures. You were sent to expose them by simply existing in your full power. Every time you tried to fit into spaces that couldn't contain your vision, something inside you cracked. Not because you were fragile, but because your spirit was rebelling against confinement. You were never built for survival mode. You were coded for disruption, transformation, and evolution. They told you to tone it down, to stop being too much, to just go with the flow. But what they really meant was, dim your truth so we don't have to face ours. And for a while you might have complied. You might have made yourself quiet, soft, agreeable. But now the cost is too high. The pain of containment is louder than the fear of rejection. And guess what? Those systems you tried to adapt to, friendships, families, institutions, beliefs, they were never worthy of the weight you carry. You didn't break because you were weak. You broke because the structure around you was never stable to begin with. You exposed it, you shook it, you outgrew it. And now it's collapsing, not you. So let it fall. Let the old systems shatter. You're not here to keep them standing. You're here to rise from the rubble and build what they never imagined. Survival was never your assignment. Revolution was. And sometimes the most dangerous thing a chosen one can do is stop playing small. So stand tall in what they tried to suppress. You weren't made to tiptoe around dysfunction. You were made to walk boldly through it and leave it forever changed. And as we wrap this up, remember this: your power was never meant to be compressed for the comfort of others. The moment you stop shrinking, the world is forced to adjust to your real size. That shift, it's not arrogance, it's alignment. So keep walking in the fullness of who you are, chosen one. Let your energy collapse what was never strong enough to contain your purpose. If this message echoed something deep within you, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop 999 in the comments to affirm your alignment. You're not just here, you're rising.